First of all, I was wondering if you could give a bit of the timeline on these new J&J vaccine doses that you're talking about. Is that going to, when would you get those? Is that going to speed how quickly we can get every American vaccinated? And secondly, I know you guys have talked before about when we're going to get to the point where we have more supply than demand for the vaccine. And I wondered if you're seeing any areas yet where we are approaching that. I know there's been reports from places like Louisiana and Alabama, some of the Carolinas, where there seems to be more supply than demand, and the states then have been expanding their population who's eligible. So I'm wondering what you guys are seeing, and then of course what you're doing to try to address that.
Sure. And maybe for your second question, I'll also invite Dr. Walensky to add a comment about how she's thinking about this at the CDC, and of course, Dr. Fauci, if you want to add as well. The Johnson & Johnson 100 million doses that we discussed this morning was a recent order given by the president to the COVID coordinator, Jeff Zients. So that is a directive, and so more details about that. It's too premature to provide you more details about what the content of that is going to be. With regard to your second question, maybe I'll just kick it off by saying that I completely agree with the premise of your question, which is that there is not a magic date where the entire country moves from needing more vaccinations to having too many vaccines for the population. In point of fact, this is a journey that we are working on together, and as you suggested, community by community around the country, they're going to reach that spot in different places. We are working through the CDC and directly with state and local officials to continue to make that assessment. But important for you to know that we are working on both sides of that equation, helping people get straight answers to their questions about vaccines, as well as increasing vaccine production, which we've spent more of our time talking about here. Dr. Walensky, what would you add?
Yeah, I would add several things. We are working now with 9,000 pharmacies across the country. We know that 90% of the population lives within 5 miles of a pharmacy. We are now rolling out to 250 federally qualified health centers across the country. We're working with our state and local partners to provide toolkits and assistance to ensure that they can reach all of their populations. We're doing vaccine confidence consults. If people have challenges in terms of vaccine hesitancy, how can we address those challenges? There's a lot of work going on so that we can actually delay the period of time where people don't want where we have that inflection point. We want to have a lot of vaccine out there, and we want to have a lot of people who want it.
Yes.